Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. So it has been confirmed now that there are more foreign criminals coming to the United Kingdom. Now, I'm going to share with you guys a video in a minute from I think Patrick Christie shared it on his X feed. Look, ladies and gentlemen, okay, we are in a monumental situation in the United Kingdom, and the scale of what we're facing here in the United Kingdom, guys, it's bigger. It's a lot bigger than people can imagine. So please, ladies and gentlemen, okay, everybody needs to start sharing this message, okay? What legal framework do we have to oppose a tyrannical government? That is it. I keep seeing these people online talking about going to self-defense classes, carrying X, Y, and Z in your handbag or whatever. It's all folly. The real problem, guys, it's whatever is happening to the United Kingdom right now, guys. It's a lot bigger than PC Plod. It's a lot bigger than Keir Starmer. It's a lot bigger than any political party. What's happening to the United Kingdom, the only way I can describe this is dark forces have set out to destroy the Western world. That's what it is, guys, okay? This is not just happening in the United Kingdom. This is happening in Europe. This is happening in Canada. This is happening in America. This is happening in Australia. It's happening in New Zealand. The Anglosphere is being destroyed. That is the reality, guys, okay? And I don't believe that this is just all happening. I don't just believe this is all happening coincidentally at the same time to all these countries, all at the same time. So whatever is happening, the way out of it is to start a national conversation. Well, I mean, the less violent way out of it, because violence is coming, guys. Believe me, violence is coming. The less violent way out of it is to start a national conversation whereby what legal framework people of the United Kingdom have to oppose a tyrannical government. Because you know what happens as soon as we get that legislation in place, or the correct interpretation of existing legislation, we can then go to a place and say, hey, listen, do you know what? We want the United the Democratic Republic of Cleethorpes or whatever. You can start forming militias and taking ground back, because at the moment you just can't do that, guys, okay? We cannot do that. And here lies the problem. So before we go on to that video, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just going to share with... Oh, guys, yeah, we are triple streaming this morning. You guys on... In fact, let me move that camera a little bit because I'm a little bit low down with that camera. There we are. So for you guys over on TikTok, I will be closing you guys down in a little bit, and I will just be doing this live stream on X and YouTube, because they don't restrict me every 2 minutes. I've got a coffee here, and I want to drink my coffee. Right, Haroon, guys, there's people wanting to join the live stream. Haroon, stop asking every 2 minutes. Haroon wants to join the live stream. Okay, Haroon, if you want to join the live stream on TikTok, send me a message. Tell me what you want to talk about, and we'll do it. Okay, I can't just let people jump on, because I've done that before and it just ends in disaster. Anyway, let's continue, guys. So for those of you guys who are watching on YouTube and X, I'm going to share with you guys now the case of Mohammed Azim. So this is a news article. In fact, let me share this with you. How do I share? Let me share this with you guys. So this is a news article from the BBC. I think it was published yesterday. Again, another Mohammed committing another murder. Man charged with... So we've got the share screen. And look, guys, you guys on TikTok, I know you can't share. I know I'm not sharing the screen with you guys, but I am sharing the screen with you guys on YouTube and on X. So I just want to go through this real quick, guys, because it is... I did a little bit of research into this, like I do all these cases. Murder charge, and I'm reading this off the BBC, guys, so nobody can get me done for fake news. Murder charge after death of woman 19. A man has been charged with murder after a 19-year-old woman dies on a street in Albury. Lily Whitehouse was found with serious injuries on Park Street at around 21:50 GMT on Wednesday. She was pronounced dead at the scene. Mohammed Azim, 41, has been charged with her murder and earlier appeared before Wolverhampton Magistrates Court. He has been remanded in custody and is due to appear at the city's Crown Court on Monday. So not tomorrow, but the day after. Now, look, guys, I know that there are lots of Mohammeds, you know, it's just of, you know, I think they, you know, there's just lots of Mohammeds. You know, if you're Muslim, you know, you have like, I think Muhammad. I think you've got to have Muhammad in your name. But Azim, I don't know how rare that name is. Just bear with me, guys, okay? So I did a little bit of searching for, where are we? Guys, am I still streaming on YouTube? Right, I may not be streaming on YouTube. I don't know. I don't know if I'm streaming on YouTube. Maybe I am. Maybe I'm not. Right, I guess we'll just continue anyway. I think we're okay now. I don't know if I'm streaming on. I may have stopped. Right, I'm streaming on. Okay, right. I'm streaming. Okay, right. Thanks, guys. Did you see the article I just posted? Thanks, guys. In fact, I need to turn the chat on. Guys, you guys on YouTube, did you see the article that I just shared with you guys then? Sorry, guys. Did you see the article that I just shared with you guys? I'll just read it again. So I shared this article with you, but I'll just read it again real quick. So a man called Mohammed Azim, 41, has been charged with the murder of a 19-year-old woman called Lily Whitehouse. This she was found in she died in a street in Oldbury. Now, that's tragic, guys. That's disgusting. Let me just share with you guys another article, and I don't know, you know, I don't know if this is the same person. I really don't. I don't know if this is the same person. So remember that name, guys, okay? And listen, before I share this, okay, I do apologize for the ads. I can't get the ads off, but I think it's fair that I share this with you guys, okay? So if you guys can remember Mohammed Azim, so this is an article from 29th of July, 2013. Outrage. You guys can search this yourself. This is in the Mirror. This was published in the Mirror, 29th of July, 2013. Outrage at judge after rape victim is forced to watch CCTV of horrific attack. She was forced to relive her ordeal at the hands of Mohammed Azim. Where are we, guys? Here we are. So this is Mohammed Azim's method of operation. She was forced to relive her ordeal at the hands of Mohammed Azim as he smashed a bottle over her head, dragged her into a nearby factory by the hair and raped her. So I don't know, guys. I don't know if this is the same person. I don't know if it's the same person. I really don't. I don't know if this is the same person. That, you know, I'm not making assumptions there, guys. I'm just saying that there's been another Mohammed Azim arrested, and you know, maybe he got off on it because of reasons, but you know, there was another Mohammed Azim in 2013 who I don't know how this court case went, who smashed the bottle over a woman's head, dragged her into a factory and raped her. So do we think it's the same guy? Do we think he likes to go bottle smashing, rapey? I don't know, guys. Right, let me jump back on here, guys. And so I just wanted to get those things out there. I don't know the answer to that. I really don't know. I don't know who this Mohammed Azim is. You know, it could be a different Mohammed Azim, but who knows? Who knows, guys? So I'm going to share with you guys on YouTube now a video that Patrick Christie shared. This is where are we? So this is a man, a Kurdish. Can't do that. Hang on, let me. So this is a Kurdish man, and he's coming over to the United Kingdom, and I think it's the guys who, you know, that raise the flags. I think it's those guys. They went over to France, And, you know, they went over to France and they said, like, okay, right, we're going to try and stop people coming to the United Kingdom. And they're doing a great job and they're recording it. And I think this is those guys. But anyway, it doesn't matter who this guy is. I'm just going to share this video with you guys right now. This is from Patrick Christie.
Are you scared? You have
No,
kids?
I don't scare.
No?
Inshallah, Allah.
So I think he's saying he's not scared. Allah is watching him.
How long have you been in France?
I 7 years in France.
7
So he's saying he's been in 7 years in France. Actually, this is ITV News. ITV News. So he's been in France 7 years.
years.
5 years prison.
But he's been in prison for 5 years. So I don't know what he's done. I don't know. I'm going to assume he was, I'm not going to assume anything, actually. I'm just going to play the video.
I 7 years in France.
7 years.
5 years prison.
He may have been in prison, but these Iraqi Kurds think freedom lies just over the channel.
Can you imagine? You know, I don't know if you guys were on the live stream last night. Can you imagine, though, you know, that those World War II veterans watching the very shores and beaches that they stormed? Now, everybody's coming the other way, potentially in another invasion, but they're not, you know, this time we're paying for it. Look, guys, what we're facing in the United Kingdom is bigger. It's bigger than people can imagine. And if you're thinking low key, you need to start thinking on the macro, because what's happening collectively around the West is an absolute destruction of Western society. Why? I don't know, guys. Like, I don't know what, I don't know. When you follow this rabbit hole, everybody wants to, you know, everybody wants this, yeah, right, we're going to do, yeah, we're going to go, yeah, we're going to go watch, yeah, let's go on a Million Man March with Tommy Robinson, let's wave our flags, yay. All right, what did that achieve? Seriously, guys, what did that achieve? Yeah, we're going to go on a protest here, we're going to get fat, yeah, we've had 200,000 people, yeah, and we all protested, we was waving the flags. Okay, fine, what did it achieve? Okay. And I'm not taking, and I don't mean to be negative, guys. I'm not being negative. I think they're great things. It shows solidarity. It lets people know they're not alone. It lets people know that it lets other people know that there is still that will to fight, I guess. What has it changed? What have all these protests changed? Nothing. They won't change anything until that legal framework is in place. And nobody, like, can you imagine, rather than a Million Man March in London, all right, if everybody had have just chipped in £1 and gone to like given £1 to a barrister, to like the right legal firms, and said, right, guys, here's £1 million. We need to work on this and we need to present this to Parliament. You guys need to do this as a legal firm. Now, what do you mean? Well, look, we need you guys to work on this to get that legal framework passed through whatever legal system it is, whatever it needs to do, guys. I don't know. But whatever that legal tick in the box is, where people have that right to defend themselves against a tyrannical government. Imagine if that legislation had been put in place. It only cost those million people £1. Wouldn't that be a better, you know, how much did those people, you know, all those people that went down to London, buying flags, you know, getting train tickets down there, potentially getting hotels if you can find one, £8 a pint. What did it achieve? All that money and stuff, that, like, all that energy that was generated, what did it achieve? These guys are still coming. Right, ladies and gentlemen, let me jump onto the chat. Good morning, everybody. That's what we're talking about. I have got something else to talk about as well. I'm going to talk to you guys about the case of James Watson. If you guys know who James Watson is, so James Watson died the other day. Now, he was the discoverer. He got awarded the Nobel Prize in Science for discovering DNA's double helix structure. Now, he also had to give his Nobel Prize back because what he said is, and look, guys, I'm saying that this was wrong. I'm saying this guy who won the Nobel Prize, who is an expert in genetics, I'm saying he's wrong because he's, I'm saying what he's saying is wrong because it sounds racist. Okay, so I'm agreeing with the mainstream here, guys. But he said that there is a significant difference between IQ scores between white people and black people, and he said it was genetic. But obviously that's wrong, guys, because we know that all people are equal. So obviously his lifetime in genetics, his lifetime in genetics, his Nobel Prize, all that's bullshit, because he said that black people get a lower IQ score than white people. So that's wrong. He's wrong. Everything he said is wrong, and his whole scientific work is discredited because he, and I will come on to that in a little bit, guys, once I close YouTube, TikTok down. Anyway, I will be talking about him, guys. That's James Watson. If you guys know who he is, put it in the chat. Right, I'm going to jump onto the comments. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, everyone. Right, Nikki Bishop is saying maybe Nikki Bishop is saying something. Nikki Bishop is saying maybe the United Kingdom march showed people that they are not alone. Yes, I agree. That what did it change? Nothing. Suzanne is saying only way to stop this is for everyone to doubt tools and stop paying everything until the powers that be. Suzanne, that's not going to happen. Okay, we've got to be realistic. Okay, we have got to be absolutely realistic. Like a couple of years ago, I think it was a couple of years ago. It may have, I've only been on social media like 2 years. Last year or something, the solution I gave back then was that everybody in the United Kingdom needs to down tools and go claim whatever benefits there is. Like go and claim like I don't know, job seekers allowance or whatever it is. It's not going to happen. Suzanne, we've got to be realistic. That is not going to happen. Do you know why it's not going to happen? Because people are selfish. People are greedy. People will think, well, I'm not, if everybody else does it, it'll be okay. The real way we do this, guys, and the only realistic way that we can do this is to get that conversation going. And somebody, Kemi Badenoch, Rupert Powell, who's Rupert Powell? Who's Rupert Powell? Rupert Lowe, Farage, somebody need to ask that question in government, and that question needs to be explored. Keir Starmer, what legal framework do the people have of this country to oppose the tyrannical government? Oh, we don't have anything like that because we vote. We do it with the vote. Yeah, how's that working out for everyone, guys? Do you feel empowered? I know I don't. Do you feel protected? Joshua is saying, until something other than protest is done, we are completely finished, except more women. Joshua, I agree 100%, mate. These protests are changing nothing. Silly Gallardi is saying, Islam doesn't live in peace with Western values. Do you know what, Silly? I would go one further than that. And I would say, like, Silly, I know you're in the Middle East, and I would say that Islam just doesn't live in peace. It doesn't, If we had a total Islamification of the world right now, the Sunnis and the Shias would be fighting. The Saudis and the Iranians, they'd be fighting, So even within themselves, they will continue to fight. Not very well either. They're not very good at fighting. They're not very good at war. And Carol Easton is saying he has previously been done with manslaughter and 3 rapes. Well, he sounds like, listen, he's probably been, look, I'm not even going to speculate, guys. Look, guys, I think we're talking about there Mohammed Aziz. What's his name? Mohammed Azim. I found quite a bit about Mohammed Azim. I don't know if it's the same one. I found out that he was a farm. Look, guys, and I don't know if this is the same Mohammed Azim. I really don't. I don't have his birthday. I'm not even gonna say what else I found out. I'm not, because I genuinely don't know if that's the same person. So I could be like slandering somebody else, and I really don't want to do that. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, Carol is saying you can't just quit your job and go on the dole. They won't pay you as it's your fault for quitting. I would love to get the sack. I would love, like, me and my friends used to say, right, you know, when you don't want to leave, what are you going to do when you leave the army? You know, we used to say, right, I'm going to get a job. I'm just going to try and get the sack in like really funny ways. Just try and get the sack in really funny ways. Like, can you imagine? Like, I don't know. If you work on the checkout in Asda or something and like people are coming in, just like, yeah, just take that. Yeah, go on. Yeah, go on. It's on me, that. It's on Big Asda. It's on Big Asda. That's on Big. Yeah, just take it. Just get yourself off. And then when like the boss calls you in, they're like, Sean, we've been watching you until 9, and you've not been charging any of the customers. You just go, yeah. I thought I'd let them have that on them, and just keep doing it, but bold as brass. Yeah. Look, guys. Okay. Realistically, the only way to keep people safe, is to avoid those situations. You know, I don't know right now. I don't know why people are going out. I don't know why people are going into certain communities, and this is what I keep harping on about, guys. Okay, if we get that legal framework where we can protect ourselves from a tyrannical government, we can take. You know, we can go into Cleethorpes en masse, take the first the Democratic Republic of Cleethorpes. We can say, look, this is Cleethorpes now. We look after Cleethorpes, right? We're securing our own Cleethorpesians. And you then ask very politely the people who you don't want there to leave, which opens up. I did a live stream about this, guys. You know, my steps to taking over the United Kingdom and bringing things back. And honestly, guys, everybody's wanting to go to these protests and people want the quick fix. There isn't a quick fix, guys. There isn't a quick fix. And Slim is saying, good morning. I hope every one of you are well and able. I am well and able, guys. I'm well and able. Right. I think we've covered everything apart from James Watson. Shall I play you guys James Watson's video? Do you know what I am? I'm going to play it now while I'm still streaming on TikTok, guys. I'm going to play this while I'm still streaming on TikTok. Good evening. Listen, you guys on TikTok, I am going to be closing you guys down pretty soon. I will then be continuing this live stream on YouTube, and I'll continue this live stream on X. A couple of reasons. One, the algorithm keeps restricting me on TikTok. Two, I've got a cup of coffee here that I want to drink, and if I drink a cup of coffee while I'm on TikTok, I get restricted. So it makes no sense to continue the live stream if I can't drink coffee. I mean, I'm 43, guys. I want I want a cup of coffee. So I'll play this video. Let me know what you guys think in the comments, okay? Obviously, I think that this guy, I think while I'm still streaming on TikTok, I think this guy is wrong. You know, and his whole, well, let's share the video actually. So this is a guy here, James Watson. He died the other day. Now, he quoted saying there is a difference on average between whites and blacks on the IQ test. I would say the difference is genetic. Now, this is the man who discovered the double helix in DNA. He's dedicated his whole life to genetics. Obviously, he's wrong, and I know he's wrong. I've not got a degree in genetics. I've not got a Nobel Prize, but I know he's wrong because I know that everybody's equal. So I know that everybody's equal, guys. So I know that he's wrong because that fundamental is in me. You know, I've spent lots of time in the military with dealing with different nations, and I know that everybody's equal, guys. Everybody's equal, and we're all beautiful people. So let's just play this video. In fact, let's rewind the video first, and then we'll play it. In fact, I'll make this big. So he's saying there's a difference on the average. That's how we're starting this conversation.
There's a difference on the average between blacks and whites on IQ tests.
So he's saying there's a difference on average between blacks and whites on IQ tests.
I would say the difference is It's genetic.
And he's saying that the difference is genetic. Now, this is a man who's dedicated his life to genetics. But I know he's wrong, guys. I know he's wrong. I know he's wrong. I know he's wrong because I know that everybody's equal. Okay, so I know that this guy's wrong. So I don't know why he would come out and say something as false as this. And I don't know why he would stake his career on something as false as this, having all the information that he's got. He's clearly not woke. So they're saying, look, scientist James Watson lost his honorary titles after repeating the racist comments from the racist comments in a documentary. And you know what, guys? Even if you're presented with evidence that is there in front of you, black and white, if those test results are racist, then they're false. Obviously, if those scores are wrong, obviously they're racist scores, so they're wrong. We should just put that away. And we should not talk about that. He says something really key in a minute. So there we are, guys. Watson is a Nobel Prize winner who co-discovered the double helix structure of DNA, which is kind of a big thing in genetics. In 2007, Watson told Britain's Sunday Times that he was gloomy about Africa's future. Because all our social policies are based on the fact that their intelligence is the same as ours, whereas all the testing says not really. So what he's saying there is, also, and I'm going to expand this and say, well, do you know what? I'm not even going to expand this. I'm going to ask a question. Are social policies based on the fact that everybody is equal? Are they doomed because not everybody is equal? Are we saying that, guys? I'm just asking that as a question. Obviously, I know that everybody's equal. I know that everybody's equal. I do. I know that there's no... So because he made those comments that not everybody's equal, he got all his, he got stripped of all his, of all his titles. But, as a scientist, if you're looking at the data and the data is telling you something, okay, if you get a question on a maths test, all right? If you get a question on a maths test and you're thinking, right, okay, so what is it? What are they doing? What is it on Georgia? This is really Orwellian. On 1980, on George Orwell's 2 + 2. When they've got this guy, I can't remember his name, and they've got him in this cell and they're torturing him in the book. And they're saying, what is 2 + 2? And he's saying, it's 4. And he's saying, no, it's 5. And I think he gets an electric shock or something and saying, what is 2 + 2? We say it is 5. And he's saying, but it's not. It's 4. So here we are, guys, okay? If all the data is pointing to one thing, but you don't like that thing, does that mean the data's wrong just because you don't like it? So there we are, guys. The curious case of James Watson. I mean, I wonder why he chose to do that. Anyway, guys, right, let's I'm going to close you guys down now on TikTok. I do apologize, but I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. I want to have my coffee. So you fantastic lot on TikTok, I am going to close you guys down now. If you want to continue this live stream, I think we're going to open up a little bit up more. We're going to talk about things, and I may say things that I would get banned for on TikTok, which I'm not going to lie, guys. You don't need to be that controversial to get yourself banned on TikTok, believe me. So I'm going to close you lot down now. I will be jumping over to YouTube, guys. I'm Real Raven 1 on YouTube, and I'm the real... Oh, Millman is saying, I've only just subscribed, and now you're going, oh, right, okay, Millman, right, okay. Millman on TikTok, I'm going to stay here just for you. Okay, Millman. All right. Millman's just jumped up and he said, mate, I've just subscribed. Okay. So Millman, I will stay open. I will stay open because Millman doesn't want me to go. Okay. So for you, Millman, Millman21, Millman21, I'll stay on a little bit longer on TikTok. Right. Let me jump over, guys, and get some of these comments in the chat. What do we think, guys? What do we think about the, the curious, what do we think about the curious case of James Watson? Do we think he's, why do you think he would say that? Why do you think he would say that? That's clearly wrong. You know, it's clearly wrong, isn't it, guys? You know, if you're looking at that data, you're looking in front of it, you know, and you see something. Numbers don't lie. So why would he say it, guys? Why would he say it when it's clearly wrong? Silly is saying rewriting history and going against science if it's against your belief is a trend these days. It is, guys. It's a massive trend. It's a massive trend. You know, we treat people like they're equal, but, you know, I've got to be very careful what I'm saying while I'm on TikTok. Daniel Payne is saying, how are you, Sir Raven? Oh, I'm getting quite a few comments on TikTok. I'm good, Daniel Payne on Raven. I'm clueless what's happening, staying away from the media. Right, okay, look, guys, I'm just going to run through real quick for you guys who may have missed it, what I started with this live stream. So I'm not going to share the screen, although if you want me to share the screen with you guys, I will. There's been another murder, another white, well, I'm going to assume she's a white girl. Her name was Lily Whitehouse, and she was 19. God rest her soul. God rest her soul, guys. You know, we're numb to this, aren't we now? We're numb to this. You know, what was his name? Oh, Mohammed. Yeah. Okay. Right. Okay. So, and let me be clear before I go on, guys. I don't know if this is the same person. I don't know if it's the same person. But a woman, 19, has died in Oldbury. A man, Mohammed Azim, 41, has been charged with her murder. That's an article from yesterday, 7th of November, 2025 on the BBC. If you guys want to go to an article that was published in the Mirror, is it the Daily Mirror? No, the Mirror, sorry. In 2013, the article was published on the 29th of July, 2013. Outrage at judge after rape victim is forced to watch CCTV of horrific attack. A woman was forced to relive her ordeal at the hands of Mohammed Azim as he smashed a bottle over her head, dragged her into a nearby factory by the hair, and raped her. So I don't know, guys. How do we think it's the same guy? I don't know. I don't know if it's the same guy. I mean, I wonder how long did he get? Did he even get sent to jail? Or did she get sent to jail? And I'm not even kidding there, guys. Like, who got sent to jail there? Maybe she got sent to jail. Yeah, sorry. Again, there was another attack last night in yeah, right. Let me get this up, guys. Sorry, let me get this up. Yeah, so I'll share this with you guys now. I will share this. In fact, where did the right, get that right? Thank you. In fact, I'll take that down. I will share this with you guys. This is 13 minutes old. So another woman, again, you know, unprovoked attack. Who knows why? I mean, I wonder what the guy's name is. Woman stabbed in the neck in unprovoked attack in Birmingham. Unprovoked Birmingham attack in critical condition. Police arrested a man in his 20s near the scene and he is in custody. A woman fighting for her life as she was stabbed in the neck in what police believe to be an unprovoked attack. It's not mentioning his name, but I'm gonna listen, guys. I'm gonna assume. Where is it? So, police arrested a man in his 20s and he's in custody. I'm going to assume this was one of the. I'm going to assume that this is a Norwegian fisherman. I think this would be one of the Norwegian fishermen guys, okay, that are operating in Birmingham. Like, how many of these events are there, guys? You know, how many of these are there realistically? You know, it's unbelievable. Girls, you're not fucking safe. You are not safe. Why are you out? Why do girls leave the house? Why, like, you know, this all starts with, awareness, literal awareness, guys. You know, people need to be aware that you're not safe. You are not safe. Oh, but I want to go out. Yeah. Do you want to get stabbed in the neck? Do you want to become another Irina Zarutska? Like, you know, do you want to be Irina Zarutska? It's fucking outrageous. Right, listen, guys. I am gonna turn you guys off TikTok now. I'm gonna turn you guys off TikTok. Thank you for you guys who subscribed on TikTok. I really appreciate it. I am gonna jump over to YouTube now, guys. I am gonna talk a little bit more about what you can do to protect yourself. There's no easy fixes, guys. There's no silver bullets. There really is no silver bullets to this situation that we've got, guys, okay? Absolutely no silver bullets, okay? I am going to jump over to YouTube and we're going to talk about this a little bit more. I need to do a standalone video on this, guys, okay? It will be a 5-minute video. Anyway, guys, I'm going to turn you guys off on TikTok and I will jump over and I'll just be streaming on YouTube and X. I'm the Real Raven 1 on YouTube and I'm the Real Raven 1 on X. Right, let me turn those off. Right, let me have some coffee. How would you say that in? I would say I need Wahed cover. Wahed? Is it Wahed? Yeah, Wahed. Do you know what happens? Do you know what happens when we get that legal framework, guys? And I know it sounds off, but can you imagine right now? Imagine what would happen to the country right now, guys, okay? This is how it needs to happen. There's no other way that it can happen. None. You guys know when I get information, I will within like a couple of seconds, I will have blasted every potential outcome out of that, whatever I'm getting. I'm thinking, okay, right. So where's the most likely outcome? What's the best way forwards? And this really is the best way. This is the only chance that we've got. Can you imagine, all right, I've done this on a live stream before, so I'll just run through this real quick. Can you imagine if we got that legal framework to protect ourselves from a tyrannical government and we could say, right, okay, we're claiming now we are claiming the independent state of Cleethorpes. It doesn't matter where. I said Cleethorpes because I don't know. I was thinking of somewhere on the coast because if you're on the coast, you're protected from one side. And I thought, you know what, Cleethorpes is actually a really good idea because you get that coastline, so you're protected. You get Grimsby Docks, so you've got infrastructure. You can finance yourselves. And I was like, right, you know what, that's not actually a bad idea. So I would take the first state of Cleethorpes. You say, right, okay, this is Cleethorpes now. We are taking control of Cleethorpes. We're getting rid of anybody we don't want to have in Cleethorpes. We don't want them in. We don't want those people in Cleethorpes. We push those people out of Cleethorpes and we police Cleethorpes and Grimsby ourselves. Guess what happens then? Guess what happens when you don't let those people in? You don't let bad people in. When there's no bad people in, where kids are not scared to go out. People start to feel happy in Cleethorpes, and then you know what? Other people start to think, Jesus Christ, I want to go to Cleethorpes. And you're like, yeah, we'll let you in. We're very strict on who we let in. We don't let any geek off the street. You got to be handy with the steel, you know what I mean, and the keep. So at that point, you start to build a flourishing community. and more people want to come into that flourishing community, and then you expand Cleethorpes. Nothing happens, guys, without that legal framework. Honestly, it's just folly. It's absolute folly. It's folly. Oh, we're going to vote for this party. Yeah, good luck. What's that going to do? We're going to vote for Farage. Yeah, all right, well done. And what? And what? You're still dealing with the same system. Literally, we have a car, right? We have a car. Imagine being in a car, all right? The engine warning lights on, the oil lights on. Literally, you've got all these red things flashing on the dash. And you pull into the service station every 4 years and change the wheels. Yeah, we've got this now. We've got this. We've got this. We've got this. You know, we've got this now. We've got the Pirelli P100s on. That's it now, guys. We've got the Pirelli P100s on. You get out the garage and all the engine warning lights come on again. And you're like, oh, but I changed the wheels. I changed the wheels. It doesn't fucking make, it's not going to make any difference, guys. Absolutely no difference. Ian is saying the illegal immigrants are being brought in as cannon fodder for the alien invasion. You know, I would say that I would agree with what James is saying here. You know, well, normally I would say there is no such thing as a random attack. But I'm wrong. I'm wrong, guys. Listen, I'm wrong. Because there is things as random attacks now. There are people out there, and I've seen this, you've seen this on the news. There are people out there who just want to go stabby. They don't even care. They just want to, like, you know, go stabby. The Willow Fairy is saying, listen, guys, there's another side going on. We have crackheads and Neds. What's a Ned? I don't know what a Ned is. I'm going to assume it's like a low-level criminal or something. Thinking this is a green light to run wild, my daughter witnessed 2 guys attack a young Indian on South Bridge in Edin. I'm going to assume that's Edinburgh. Yeah, this is happening, guys. You know, these things are starting. Nobody wants these things to start. Unfortunately, they're here now. This is it. You know, the war is coming, and it's going to drag more people into it. Oh, Carol is saying, I'm from Grimsby. Can't you move here and be our mayor? Sounds good to me, because Carol's from right. Carol, what is Grimsby like? You know, what is Grimsby like? I mean, we take the kids to Cleethorpes. You know, we take the kids to Cleethorpes maybe like once or twice a year or something. But what is like Grimsby and Cleethorpes actually like? It was a wild assessment that I give. But the more I think about it, the more I think that, well, let's just get it up on a map. Let's just get this up on a map. Let me go on Google Maps. Give me a second. Maps. Right, where do I go? Right, I'm just making sure I don't give anything away because I've got quite a few things. Right, no. Right, let me share this with you guys. So when I talked about, and again, look, guys, I'm thinking on things on the macro here. We've got there's a lot of talk and spiel. You know, there's a lot of talk and spiel about, you know, how to defend yourselves. Guys, that's like how to defend yourselves on the streets. That's kid stuff. You need to start thinking macro, because by macro, I mean like on like the global scale now, because whoever has the authority to flood Britain, Europe, America, Australia, New Zealand, with migrants, all at the same time, whoever has that authority, they kind of, it's a little bit above what's happening on the street, or like street level policing. We're talking about macro stuff now, guys, okay? And the only way, the only legal way to fight back is to get that, to get that legal framework. So I was on a live stream, and I just I think I did a video actually said we should have the first republic of. I was trying to think of somewhere in my head. I was trying to think of where I would go. If I was to take the United Kingdom, where would I have as my stronghold? And I said this little part here, this little part of the world here, Grimsby, Cleethorpes, Humberston, this little area. I don't know if you guys can see my cursor, but this little area here, because it's relatively small, it's easy to cut off. You've only got a few roads that you need to close down, and, people can't get in. You have this, you have Grimsby here with the famous Grimsby docks, so you can get things shipped in. And it's small enough to be easily controllable. Maybe even just, have this road as your, I don't know, maybe have this, what's this road called? The Peaks, what's that? Peaks Parkway? Maybe I'm from Peaks, I don't know. I'd have to have a better look at it, better look at the map. But once you take a piece of ground like this, and we did this before, and I've done this many times, going into foreign countries, you look at the ground and you're like, right, okay, we need a ground assessment, and you look at what's easily defendable. You would need somewhere on the coast, well, they've got your sushi as well. You would need somewhere on the coast to do this. You need somewhere on the coast, because if you're on the coast, then that kind of gives you all that region. Nobody's going to attack you from that side. You've got all these marshes. I just think Grimsby, Cleethorpes, if we could take control of these, we've got Grimsby Town Football Club. I do think that would be the perfect spot, guys. I really do, to form the first republic. The first republic of Raven. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about the macro. Let me jump down. I want to know what... Carol is saying, I love it here, but Grimsby has its fair share of drug problems and homeless people. Well, if we had that as the first republic, we would be kicking all those people out. We would be kicking all those people out, guys. They would be gone. Yeah, so Silly is saying, the problem is, even if you have a good legal document drafted, the people who make it legitimate are still the politicians. Yes, what I'm talking about is something so fundamental, it would be very difficult. It would be very difficult to deny this. Very difficult to deny people in the United Kingdom a legal framework to oppose a tyrannical government, because we don't have one. Believe me, guys, we don't have one. Now, how do you get out of that question? So we're talking about these grooming gangs, I mean, when's that inquiry happening, guys? Let me just Google this real quick. That's just been swept under the carpet, hasn't it? Right, so I'm just... Right, yeah. They've delayed it, haven't they? The grooming gangs inquiry, they've delayed it. What do we think, guys? Do we think that's ever going to go ahead? Do we think that's ever going to go ahead, the grooming gangs inquiry? And what about, those two guys who had the fisticuffs in Manchester Airport? What's happening to those guys? What's happening to those guys? Are they ever going to... What's happening to those guys? Who knows? Right, guys, I'm just going to share with you this post again, this video. So, in fact, I'm going to share with you guys a video now. I shared this at the beginning of the live stream. I want to share this again because this is the crux of this live stream. Foreign criminals are flocking to the United Kingdom, guys, okay? So when everybody's moaning about doing, everybody's going on, we're going to have this many people on the protest, we're going to go to do this march, and we're going to do this. unless we stop this right here, it's pointless. It's all pointless, guys.
Are you scared? You have
No, I
kids?
don't scare.
No?
إن شاء الله بإذن الله. اللهم صل على النبي الحبيب.
How long have you been in France?
I 7 years in France.
7 years.
5 years prison. I 7 years in France.
7 years.
5 years prison.
You hearing what he's saying, guys? He's been in. This is from the ITV News. You know, stamp at the top. ITV News. He's been in France for 7 years, but 5 of them he was in prison. So I don't know. Maybe he was there 2 years, got himself sent to prison. Maybe I don't know. How many more of these people are coming over, guys? Literally, how many more of these people are coming over? Look how happy he is. He's going to get his 3 meals a day. He's going to get a hotel, 3 meals a day. You know, obviously he's committed no crime in the United Kingdom, so he's here with a fresh start.
Are you scared? You have
No,
kids?
I don't scare.
No?
إن شاء الله بإذن الله. اللهم صل على النبي.
Inshallah, bring me the hotel.
How long have you been in France?
I 7 years in France.
7 years.
5 years prison. I 7 years in France.
7 years.
5 years prison.
He may have been in prison, but these Iraqi Kurds think freedom lies just over the channel.
Are you scared?
So there we have it, guys. Looks like more foreign criminals on their way to the United Kingdom. And I've said this many, many times, guys. I've said this so many times. You know, absolutely, you know, so many times. If you're a foreign criminal, I don't know, somewhere, and you've committed a crime, real bad crime, whatever crime you're thinking of, just doesn't matter, whatever that bad crime is, and you're about to get caught, you know, you've literally just committed that crime. Evidence was all over the crime scene. There's no way you're going to get away with it. Are you going to stay in that country and get arrested and go to jail? Or are you going to come to the United Kingdom and have a fresh start? You know, nice hotel, 3 meals a day. One of the things I saw as well the other day, we're not allowed to deport people back to Eritrea. We're not allowed to deport people back to Eritrea because in Eritrea, they have conscription, which is national mandatory military service. And it's against it's against our human rights that Eritreans join the military. Yeah. So we can't send people back to Eritrea because Eritrea have conscription. And it's against our human rights. Not in Eritrea. The Eritreans, they're totally fine with that. So I'm like, okay, if that's the case, why don't we just go and invade Eritrea? Why don't we just go and invade Eritrea, you know, take over and say, right, you don't have military service now, all right? Do what you want. Because it does look like Britain is becoming Eritrea. Looks like Britain is becoming Somalia. And one of the things that, do you know what? I was laughing. And this comes out. So there was a woman. She was a whistleblower, and she's been. I shared the thing with you. She said, "I know that one of these men that I'm granting asylum to is gonna commit murder or rape." So this woman, she's talking about, you know, what's happening. And I was laughing because in America, you have like a little tick box sheet. Well, it turns out in the United Kingdom, if you say you're from Eritrea, they ask you, what's the capital of Eritrea and what is the Eritrean flag? And that's how they prove that you're from Eritrea. They ask you what the capital city is and, you know, what the flag is. So you can see now, can't you, guys? You really can see what's shaping up. We're going to have all these little enclaves And if you live there, you're going to be, you're going to live in like little Somalia. You're going to live in little Eritrea. You're going to live in little Bangladesh or big Pakistan. Slim is saying Britain will be worse than any of these places because their criminals are all heading here. They are, guys. That is the reality. That is the reality. If you're, look, and if you are a foreign criminal, your best bet realistically is to come to the United Kingdom. That is the reality. Why do you know what? If you're a foreign criminal, or you've got no job, or you've got no prospects because you're a bad person, or you're lazy, or you don't want to work, or if you're one of the worst people of society and you don't want to work, you just want to take and commit crime, I can't see a better place than the United Kingdom for you right now. I can't. You would be a fool not to come, honestly. And I'm not saying that because I want people here. I'm being honest, and I'm saying you would be a literal fool. Imagine you're sat there, right, in some, I don't know, wherever, country X. You don't want to work. You've got no intention of working. All you want to do is commit crime. Why wouldn't you come to the United Kingdom? Literally, why wouldn't you come? We won't send you back if you commit a crime. If you do commit a crime and you get sent to jail, the jail conditions here are better than your living conditions where you come from. If you don't get sent to jail, you get to stay in a hotel, fantastic hotel that's beyond anything you'd ever be able to afford. So why would you stay in your own country? Makes no sense. Golfman22 is saying, Sean, I think one of those Manchester airport guys is in jail on bail for the attack on the two females. No, they're not. I don't think they are. No, they're not. What happened is, if you guys can remember, okay, do you know what? I need to be very careful, actually. Let me get this up, okay? I'm pretty sure this is being adjourned because they're debating whether to have a retrial or not. So let me get this up. Right, so I'll share this with you guys now. I've not read this. I'm just going for, this is from Greater Manchester Police. So let's use this as the official source before we speculate. A man from Rochdale has been found guilty of assaulting a man and two female officers during an incident at Manchester Airport on Tuesday, 3rd of July, following a 4-week trial at Liverpool Crown Court. Mohammed, they're always called Mohammed, aren't they? And look, guys, to be fair, that guy can throw, so he generates some massive power with his right hand. He's a good-looking chap. Following the 4-week trial at Liverpool Crown Court, Mohammed Fahir Amaz, 20, has been convicted of common assault and 2 counts of actual bodily harm. Over the course of the trial, extensive footage was shown. You see, what I think... Hang on, the attack took place... Yeah. So, here it is. Hang on. So what they're saying is, as I understand it, what they're saying is a jury convicted. Well, I'll read this and then I'll give you guys what I think it is. A jury convicted Mr. Amaz of assaults on the 2 female officers, and his fellow defendant claimed they acted in self-defense against the male police officer, which the jury could not make a decision on. We will be working with the Crown Prosecution Service in support of a retrial. So I think that he's been convicted, is in the context that he's been found guilty of the assaulting the 2 female officers, but they're working on a retrial for the assault on the male officer. Now, if you guys remember his defense is remember, guys, for every offense, there's a defense. His defense was that because the officer didn't identify himself as an officer, that was an illegal arrest, which, as you know, in UK law, that is absolutely correct. The officer has to identify themselves as an officer and say, I don't know, I am PC 123456 Raven. I'm arresting you on suspicion of X, Y, and Z, on a thought crime or whatever. You know, without doing that, then said arrest is it's an illegal arrest. Now, because he put his hand on him before he identified himself as a police officer and read him and told him that putting his hand on him is assault. We're opening it up, but guys, look, this case opens up a huge precedence. The jury couldn't come to a decision. Now, if that jury decision is that police officer has to identify themselves before they make an arrest, you see how, look, guys, I always go down these things and I look at this legal jargon and I think, right, okay, how is that being interpreted? You know, if that is the case, that a police officer has to, you know, identify themselves as a police officer, even if they're in full uniform, have to identify themselves as a police officer before, you know, why not just write hook them before they even open their mouth? Like, you know, if somebody, like, and I'm not suggesting you do this. I'm saying that this is where the precedent leads. This is where that precedent leads, guys, and this is why it opens up. Oh, what did David Clark say? Where is David Clark? Where's David O'Rourke? What's David O'Rourke say? I can't see what. Yes, and then they couldn't. Yeah. And then they couldn't. I don't know if one of. Is one of them in jail? I don't think one of them is in jail. I think they're doing a retrial. I don't think they can. Look, guys, I may be wrong. I don't know. I need to be quite clear on that. But as I understand it now, they're waiting for a retrial. I don't think this thing's ever going to go through, guys. I don't think either of them will ever see the inside of a prison cell. Right, let me jump down, guys. James is saying the irony is if Apophis Wormwood asteroid does hit Earth, all the migrants will be safer in the larger continents back home like Africa or the Middle East, as an asteroid will likely hit the sea. So, yeah. You know, I didn't think of that. What do we think, guys? Do we think this asteroid is going to hit us on in 2029? David O'Rourke is saying the digital ID is only one part of the plan. 15-minute bitties, 15-minute cities, universal basic income, and central bank digital currencies. Look, guys, we know central banking is coming. Do you know how we can tell central banking is coming? Try going to a high street bank now. They're shut. They're literally shut. I went to my accounts with HSBC in Rotherham. So if I need to pay a check-in or anything, you know, I have to walk in there. Yeah, you can do it on your phone, but it never works. Anyway, and oh God, it's a grim place, Rotherham Town Centre. And yeah, I went in like last month or the month before or something to pay a check-in for some work I did. And I don't know why they send you checks, but some people just do. There was just one woman, and everything was self-service now. And if you needed a checkout service, you have to go to Sheffield. I just said to her, I said, well, this is literally the future, isn't it? Like high street banks, nobody there. That, you know, it's just self-service. You know, and all those staff have been cut. Oh, and G-Man is saying, AI is saying he's in jail. I don't know, guys. Look, I'll be quite clear. I don't know. I don't know if one of them is in jail or not. My understanding, well, if we're saying he's in jail, guys. I don't know. And James is saying, I've been looking at the angle of approach from Apophis Wormwood asteroid, and I'm no expert, but if it flies straight, I believe it will hit the southern hemisphere just below the equator. I think if you was like, surely that's where the gravity matters most, right? Like where it's spinning. I don't know. Okay, so Endeavour to Preserve is saying that asteroid Apophis will safely pass Earth on Friday the 13th of April 2029 at a distance of about 31,000 kilometers. Guys, do you understand how close that is? Like, on cosmic terms, 10 million miles is close. 5 million miles is a potentially hazardous object. At 31,000 kilometers, that is underneath our geosynchronized satellites. I'm not convinced at that distance, guys. I'm not convinced if it speeds up, if it slows down, if it changes trajectory slightly. Remember, when these asteroids get closer to the sun, they outgas. Lots of things can happen, and nobody can predict that outgassing. I'm not, yes, of course it will pass. This is from NASA. NASA have done their calculations, and they're saying it will pass closely. Now, who did the calculations? Do you think? I just hope it wasn't a girl with blue hair. Right, listen, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to close this down now. The crux of this live stream has been, it is confirmed now. ITV News, mainstream media are reporting on this, guys, okay? The foreign criminals now just make their way to the United Kingdom. They just come in absolute droves now. It does look like the United Kingdom has got an open door for anybody who just wants free stuff and wants to commit crime. That's my opinion, guys. Let me know what you think in the chat. I'm going to leave you with this, guys, and I think I'm going to stay on, and I'm going to do a standalone video after this, straight after this. The only way to stop this madness is to have that legal framework where we can protect ourselves, because it's clear that the government are not doing it. And voting, all these marches, all these protests, they're not having any effect. Just imagine that, guys. Visualize that, right? Visualize going into the garage. All your engine warning lights are on, yeah? Your oil, you've got like everything, all those engine warning, everyone, all the red ones, and they're flashing. You go into the garage and you're like, hello, mate, can you change the wheels? That's what voting does, guys, okay? You're still in the same car. You've just got a new set of wheels on. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I am going to close this thing down now. I'll be back on. I will, good sirs. Good sirs and ladies. Thank you this morning for hanging out with me, guys. I will be back on later today. I'll be back on at 8, and I will bid you a good Saturday.